Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read book 9, chapter 18 on the union of Shankachura with Tulasi, the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Hari Om Tat Sat. Narayana said, thus highly pleased, Tulasi went to sleep with a gladdened heart. She, the daughter of Vrisadvaja, was then in her blooming youth, and while asleep, the Cupid, the god of 5 arrows, shot at her 5 arrows, by which one gets enchanted and swoon. Though the Devi was smeared with sandal paste and she slept on a bed strewn with flowers, her body was felt as if being burnt. Out of joy, the hairs stood on their ends all over her body. Her eyes were reddened and her body began to quiver. Sometimes she felt uneasiness, sometimes dryness, sometimes she got faint, sometimes drowsiness, and sometimes again pleasantness. Sometimes she became conscious, sometimes sorrowful. Sometimes she got up from her bed, sometimes she sat, and sometimes she fell again to sleep. The flowered bed, strewn with sandal paste, appeared to her full of thorns. Nice, delicious fruits and cold water appeared to her like poison. Her house appeared to her like a hole in the ground, and her fine garments seemed to her like fire. The mark of sindura on her forehead appeared, as it were a boil, a sore. She began to see in her dreams that one beautiful, well-clothed, humorous young man with a smile in his lips appeared to her. His body was besmeared with sandal paste and decked with excellent jewels. Garlands of forest flowers were suspended from his neck. Coming there, he was drinking the honey of her lotus face. He was speaking of love themes and on various other sweet topics, as if he was embracing amorously and enjoying the pleasures of intercourse. After the intercourse, he was going away. Again, he was coming near. The lady was addressing him, "Oh, darling, O Lord of my heart, where do you go? Come close." Again, when she became conscious, she began to lament bitterly. Thus, when entering in her youth, the Devi Tulasi began to live in the hermitage of Badari, plum fruit. It may signify womb. Those who visit Badari are not to enter again in any womb. On the other hand, the great yogi Shankachura obtained the Krishna mantra from Maharishi Jaigisavya and got siddhi, success, in Puskara Tirtha, sacred place of pilgrimage where one crosses the world, holding on his neck the Kavacha name Sarva Mangalayamaya and obtaining the boon from Brahma as he desired. He arrived at Badari by Brahma's command. The signs of the blooming youth had just begun to be visible in the body of Shankachura, as if the god of love incarnated in his body. His color resembled that of white champakas, and all his body was decked with jeweled ornaments. His face resembled the autumnal full moon. His eyes were extended like the lotus leaves. The beautiful form was seen to sit in an excellent aerial car, made of pearls and jewels. 2 jewel earrings, nice and elegant, suspended up to his cheek. His neck was adorned with parijata flower garlands, and his body was smeared with kumkum and scented sandal paste. O Narada, seeing Shankachura come near to her, Tulasi covered her face by her clothing, and she, with a smiling countenance, cast repeatedly sidelong glances at him, and bent her head low, abashed in the expectation of a fresh intercourse. How beautiful was that clear face of her! It put down the autumnal moon in the background. The invaluable jeweled ornament were on her toes. Her braid of hair was surrounded by sweet-scented melati garlands. The invaluable jeweled wonderful earrings, like the shape of a shark, were hanging up to her cheek. Extraordinarily beautiful necklaces were seen being suspended in the middle of her breast and added to the beauty thereof. On her arms and hand were jeweled bangles and conch ornaments, jeweled armlets, and on fingers. Excellent jeweled rings were seen. O Muni, seeing that lovely, beautiful, chaste woman of good nature, Shankachuta came to her and, taking his seat, addressed her as follows. O proud one, O auspicious one, who are you? Whose daughter are you? You look fortunate and blessed among women. I am your silent slave. Talk with me. That beautiful-eyed Tulasi, full of love, replied to Shankachuta with smiling countenance and face bent low. I am the daughter of the great king, Vrasadvaja. I have come to this forest for tapasya and am engaged in this. Who are you? What business have you to talk with me? You can go anywhere, you can go away wherever you like. I have heard in the Sastras that persons born of a noble family never speak with ladies of a respectable family in privacy. Only those that allude, void of any knowledge, and the Dharma Sastras, void of the Vedic knowledge, and who are not kulinas, like to speak with women in privacy. And those women too that look externally beautiful but very passionate, and the death of males who are sweet-tongued but filled with venom in their hearts, those who are sweet externally but like a sword internally, those that are always bent in achieving their own selfish ends, and those that become obedient to their husbands for their own selfish ends, otherwise behaving as they like, those that are filled inside with dirty things, and outside looking pleasant in their faces and eyes, whose characters are pronounced as defiled. What intelligent, learned, and noble-minded men can trust them? Those women do not discriminate who are their friends or who are their enemies. They want always new persons. Whenever they see a man well dressed, they want to satisfy their own passions. And they pretend with great care that they are very chaste. They are the vessels of passion. They always attract the minds of others, and they are very enthusiastic in satisfying their own lust. They verbally show that they want other men to go away, but at hearts, feelings for intercourse remain preponderant. Whenever they see their paramours in private, they laugh and become very glad, but externally their shame knows no bounds. When they do not have their intercourses with their paramours, they become self-conceited. Their bodies burn with anger, and they begin to quarrel. When their passions are satisfied fully, they become glad, and when there is a deficiency in that, they become sorrowful. For the sake of good and sweet food and cold drinks, they want beautiful young persons, qualified and humorous. They consider witty young persons clever in holding intercourses more dearly than their sons. And if that beloved one becomes incapable or aged, then he is considered as an enemy. Quarrels and anger then ensue. They devour these men as serpents eat rats. They are boldness personified, and they are the source of all evils and vices. Even Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesa remain deluded before them. They cannot find out any clue of their minds. They are the greatest obstacle in the path of tapasya and the closed doors for liberation. Devotion to Hari cannot reach those women. They are the repositories of Maya, and they hold men fast by iron chains in this world. They are like magicians and false like dreams. They enchant others by external beauty. Their lower parts are very ugly and filled with excrements, feces, and foul scent, and very unholy and smeared with blood. The Creator Bhagavan has created them as such. The Maya to the Mayavis, and the venom to those who want liberation, and as invincible to those that want to have them. Thus saying, Tulasi stopped. O Narada, Shankachuda then smilingly addressed her as follows: O Devi, what you have spoken is not wholly false. Partially it is true and partially it is false. Now here, the Creator has created this all-enchanting female form in two parts. One is praiseworthy and the other is not. He has created Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga, Savitri, and Radha, and others as the primary causes of creation. So they are the prime creations. Those women that are born of their parts are auspicious, glorious, much praiseworthy. Satarupa, Devahuti, Svadha, Swaha, Daksina, Chayavati, Rohini, Varunani, Sachi, the wife of Kuvera, Diti, Aditi, Lopamudra, Anasuya, Kautavi, Kotari, Tulasi, Ahilya, Arundhati, Meena, Tara, Mandodari, Damayanti, Veravati, Ganga, Manasa, Pusti, Tusti, Smriti, Mera, Kalika, Vasundhara, Sasti, Mangalachandi, Murti, wife of Dharma, Swasti, Shraddha, Santi, Kanti, Kshanti, Nitra, Tandra, Kshuda, Vipasa, Sandhya, Ratri, Diva, Sampati, Dhriti, Kirti, Kriya, Shobha, Prabha, Shiva, and other women born of the prime Prakritis, all are excellent in every yoga. The prostitutes of the heavens are also born of the above women in their parts and parts of parts. They are not praiseworthy in the universe. They are all regarded as unchaste women. Those women that are of sattvic gunas are all excellent and endowed with influence. In the universe they are good, chaste and praiseworthy. They are not false. The Pandits declare them excellent. Those that are Rajagunas and Tamagunas are not so praiseworthy. Those women that are of Rajagunas are known as middling. They are always fond of enjoyments, yield to them, and always ready to achieve their own ends. These women are generally insincere, delusive, and outside the pale of religious duties. Therefore, they are generally unchaste. The Pandits consider them as middling. Those women that are of Tamagunas are considered as worst. Those born of noble families can never speak with other wives in a private place or when they are alone. By Brahma's command, I have come to you. O fair one, I will marry you now according to the Gandharva method. My name is Shankachuda. The devas fly away from me out of terror. Before I was the intimate Sakha, friend of Shihari, by the name of Sudama. Now my Radhika's curse, I am born in the family of the Danavas. I was a Prasiddha. I was a Parisad, attendant of Shri Krishna, the chief of the 8 Gopas. Now by Radhika's curse I am born as Shankachuda, the Indra of the Danavas. By Shri Krishna's grace and by his mantra, I am Jatismara, known of my past births. Know of my past births. You too are Jatismara. Tulasi, Shri Krishna enjoyed you before. By Radhika's anger, you are now born in Bharata. I was very eager to enjoy you then. Out of Radhika's fear, I could not. Thus saying, Shankachuda stopped. Then Tulasi gladly and smilingly replied, such persons like you are famous in this world. Good women desire such husbands. Really, I am now defeated by you in argument. The man who is conquered by woman is very impure and blamed by the community. The Pitri Lokas, the Deva Lokas, and the Gandharva Loka too look upon men overpowered by woman as mean, despicable. Even father, mother, brother, etc. hate them mentally. It is said in the Vedas that the impurities during birth and death are expiated by a 10 days observance for the Brahmanas, by 12 days observances for the Kshatriyas, by 15 days observances for the Vaishyas, and by 1 month's observances for the Sudras and other low caste. But the impurity of the man who is conquered by woman cannot be expiated by any means except his dead body being burnt in the funeral pyre. The Pitris never accept willingly the pindas and offerings of water, tarpanas, offered by the woman conquered men. So much so that the Devas even hesitate to accept flowers, water, etc., offered to them on their names. Those whose hearts are entirely subdued by men do not acquire any fruits from their knowledge. Tapasya, japam, fire sacrifices, worship, learning and fame. I tested you to ascertain your strength in learning. It is highly advisable to choose one's husband by examining his merits and defects. Sin equivalent to the murder of a Brahmin is considered if one gives in marriage one's daughter to one void of all qualifications, to an old man, to one who is ignorant, to a poor, illiterate, diseased, ugly, very angry, very harsh, lame, devoid of limbs, deaf, dumb, inanimate like, and who is impotent. If one gives in marriage a daughter to a young man of good character, learned, well qualified, and of a peaceful temper, one acquires the fruits of performing 10 horse sacrifices. If one nourishes a daughter and sells her out of greed for money, one falls to the Kumbhipaka hell. That sinner drinks the urine and eats the excrements of that daughter, remaining in that hell. For a period equal to the 14 Indra's life periods, they are bitten by worms and crows. At the expiry of this period, they will have to be born in this world of men as diseased persons. In their human births, they will have to earn their livelihood by selling flesh and carrying flesh. Thus saying, when Tulasi stopped, Brahma appeared the scene and addressed Shankachuda. O Shankachuda, why are you spending uselessly your time in vain talks with Tulasi? Marry her soon by the Gandharva method. As you are a gem amongst males, so she is a gem amongst females. It is a very happy union between a humorous lover and a humorous beloved. O king, who despises the great happiness when it is at one's hand? He who forsakes the pleasure is worse than a beast in this world. O Tulasi, and what for are you testing the noble qualified person who is the tormentor of the Devas, Asuras and Danavas? O child, as Lakshmi Devi is of Narayana, as Radhika is of Krishna, as is my Savitri, as Bhavas is Bhavani, as Boaz is earth, as Yajnas is Dakshina, Atris Anasuya, Gautama's Ahilya, Moon's Rohini, Brihaspati's Tara, Manu's Satarupa, Kandarpa's Rati, Kashyapa's Aditi, Vashishta's Arundhati, Kardama's Devahuti, Fire's Swaha, Indra Sachi, Ganesha's Pusti, Skanda's Devasena, and Dharma's Murti. So let you be the dear wife of Shankachuda. Let you remain with Shankachuda, beautiful as he is, for a long time, and enjoy with him in various places as you like. When Shankachuda will quit his mortal frame, you would go to Goloka and enjoy easily with the two-armed Shri Krishna, and in Vaikunta, the four-armed Krishna, and with great gladness. Here ends the 18th chapter of the 9th book on the union of Shankachuda with Tulasi in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Padra Kali Kapalendra Kagash. Om Vrindavani Vrinda Vishwa Pujita Puspasaranandani Krishna Jivini Visvapavani Tulasi. Om Tulasi. Om Tuyama.